You're listening to EFT Radio Online, where we explore meridian tapping techniques for self-help and peak performance. By listening to this audio, you agree to the disclaimer located at eftradioonline.com/disclaimer. If you'd like to get the schedule of all the upcoming EFT radio shows and access to archive shows, please visit us at eftradioonline.com, where you can subscribe to our free newsletter.
Calling all success-minded entrepreneurs, experts, and coaches. Are you on a quest to make a big impact in the world? Are you driven to share your gifts and talents? Now is the time to step forward. Join us for Creating Wealth and Prosperity with Stephenie Farrell, where you'll move beyond the hidden programming that's holding you back and get crystal clear on how to step up, stand out, and make your big goals real.
Hi, this is Wealth and Prosperity Coach Stephenie Farrell with CreatingWealthAndProsperity.com. On today's show, I have a very special interview with guest Danielle LaPorte. Danielle is an invited member of Oprah's Super Soul 100. She's the author of the Firestarter Sessions, The Desire Map, A Guide to Creating Goals with Soul. She's a speaker, a poet, a painter, and a former business strategist and Washington, D.C. think tank exec. She lives in Vancouver, Canada, with her favorite person, her 12-year-old son. Danielle's new book, White Hot Truth, Clarity for Keeping It Real on Your Spiritual Path from One Seeker to Another, was just released in mid-May. I was fortunate enough to have a conversation with Danielle about her new book and to ask her what we're doing wrong and how we can get some relief from the struggle and pressure we place on ourselves to strive toward our big goals. I hope you enjoy today's interview, folks. But please join me after for some tapping to help release those stresses we place on ourselves and get back to our own white-hot truth.
The women I work with, they're really trying to reach their big business goals, and they're raising a family, and they just feel like they've hit some kind of plateau in life. And they're not using their gifts or their talents, and they almost feel like they're running out of time to make an impact in the world. What's one thing they can let go of to get relief from this and all that pressure that they're feeling?
There's so much. There's so much we could let go of. Well, comparison. I mean, comparison is really toxic, and the reason it's toxic, there's a number of reasons. One is it creates so much distraction. You're sending so much energy into analyzing what somebody else is doing and then thinking that you're not measuring up to what they're doing. All that energy could be put into self-love, self-respect, and the actual things that you want to be manifesting. So if we consider it as an energy leak, sometimes that's a psychological, chiropractic adjustment. That's just the motivation we need to start to knock it off. Secondly, comparison is just really foolish because you never know someone's whole story. And I can tell you, I know a lot of people who have had their movie, be a hit at the box office, or they hit the bestseller list, or they met the person of their dream, it's their wedding day. And there's some other thing always going on. You never know somebody's struggle, and everybody's struggling. So to idealize somebody is really kind of absurd. So stop with that. And then, really the big thing is to root into what I call your core desired feelings. So once you can knock off that habit of looking outside of yourself, then it's about, really the internal work. You get clear on how it is that you most want to feel, how you want to feel most of the time, your preferred states of being. And then from there, you do whatever you need to do. You do whatever it takes to generate those core desired feelings. And it sounds really simple, but for a lot of us, it's a revelation. It's a whole new way to live our lives and to go after what we want.
So is this how we can stop that cycle of struggle? Like that need to really always feel like we have to improve?
Well, when you're feeling based, when you're feeling centric, you're not going to have as much anxiety, right? It really helps decrease the striving with the outward stuff. You're not looking for outside approval more. You start to play a different game. Doesn't mean you still, you don't get sucked in by the game. But yeah, it's a different measurement system.
I've been thinking about our stories, our past stories, and like all of the pain and suffering that we walk around with. And how can we drop that? How can we let go and start to forgive ourselves?
Well, there's two questions in there. One is about stories. And one is about forgiveness.
Yeah.
I was just listening to a great podcast this morning. I really love the Rich Roll podcast, Rich Roll, R-O-L-L. And he was talking to somebody this is a guy who used to weigh over 300 pounds. He was an, extreme alcoholic. And he became, over time, an elite athlete, like running these high endurance races, really turned his life around. And even as an athlete, he realized he still had limiting stories about himself. So the same guy who was overweight and extremely addicted to substances was still in him, saying, just run another race. Just do something that's higher endurance, Mm-hmm. And he also had stories of like, well, you don't run this kind of race. Just like he had the old story of like, he wasn't the kind of guy who ate healthy. And so I've been thinking about that just today about myself, like what is the story, even though I can hit this goal, I feel this depth of fulfillment, is there a story that I'm not that loving enough, or I'm not the kind of person that does that? So I don't have this sweeping answer for how you just drop it all. Mm-hmm. But I know that I'm in this constant process, obviously, of seeking truth, right? I'm always looking and writing about my search. It's just like, what's the true story? And what's the false story? I was just talking recently about, recapitulating everything I went through in my divorce and my marriage. And I looked at every, incident, every movement. Just went, was that true? Did that really happen? Or is that just something I told myself? So you have to want to let go of it, and then you have to analyze the shit out of it and then decide, like, what here would be the quick answer. What story expands you, and what story has you shrink and constrict? The expansion story is the true one, In
terms of, like, forgiving ourselves, what's one thing we can start to do to really forgive ourselves?
There's always someone else involved in what you've done wrong, so to speak, in the thing you need to forgive yourself for. So I think there needs to be some observation about their role in things. Like, what is it that, like, do you need to forgive them for something? Do you need to back into your own forgiveness? Sometimes we do this backwards. We learn to be more forgiving of other people before we learn to be more forgiving of ourselves. And of course, once you learn to forgive yourself, then it's so much easier to forgive the people around you. It's a daily thing of small acts of compassion towards yourself, of deep friendliness towards yourself, of being kind, of seeking pleasure, of doing whatever it takes, like be in a more joyful state, that softens you to get you in a place to forgive yourself. Because, if you're living this super goal-oriented, hyperachiever, very regimented, always keeping score kind of life, if that's your way of being, forgiveness is not going to be an easy thing for you, because you need to be soft and pliable and open to let that forgiveness like seep into your psyche. So I would say, do what it takes to soften yourself. And then the forgiveness, is really just a psychological thing. Yeah.
In the book you said, can you imagine not craving to be different from how you are right now, and as a person who has lived that kind of life with issues like perfectionism, I know it's just been so hard for me to find that self-forgiveness. One thing I just loved in the book was your personal examples. I just found, I could really relate to them myself, and I'm sure so many seekers out there can. I'm so excited about your White Hot Truth book club. And I wanted to ask you more about that. You've created an online Facebook community. There are weekly lessons. Is it too late for people to get involved? And how can they get involved with that?
No, I hope this goes on forever and ever. Go to my website. Go to DanielleLaPorte.com. You can actually download all of the content, the book club itself. But we're ramping it up over the next couple of weeks. I think from now until into July, where we're meeting every other week. I think it's every other week on Facebook. So if you just go to Facebook, look for me, or I think if you search for White Hot Truth Book Club, it's there. So I do about 45 minutes on 1 or 2 chapters at a time, and I preach for like 10, 15 minutes, and then we open up to Q&A, and it's really cool. And in the back of the book, there's actually the book club outline. So there's 2 things to know. You don't need the book to participate in the book club. In terms of the online stuff, which is like super cool, although everybody should go get the book. And the idea here is that I just want women and men getting together to talk about things that really matter to them, like to talk about meaningfulness, the subject of meaningfulness in their lives. I think that's how you fuel revolutions.
That's fantastic and so generous. And you're there live answering questions.
Yeah, for a little while until July, and then I'm going to have a vacation.
Can you actually talk to us about radical acceptance?
I would say I'm great at radical acceptance. There's lots of things I don't want to accept. So this is where I find the term can be really confusing. Like, should I accept that Donald Trump just pulled out of the Paris Accord? No, like that's an injustice to humanity. Is it what's happening? Yeah, I accept that. Let's find a solution that relates to that. Do I need to accept that I have a particular kind of diagnosis? Yeah, that's what's happening. Do I want to rile against it? Maybe. So what I'm most interested in is what I call deep positivity. So self-help has us use, quote, positive thinking as a tool to manifest what we want. Keep it up, keep it clear, keep it high vibration, keep it shiny, right? And the law of attraction will bring that back to you. Except we aren't always manifesting what we want. We fail all the time. We don't get what we've been putting on our vision boards. And what happens when we fall short of the goal or the desire is we can feel like we're manifestation losers. Like, what have I been doing wrong? And I've felt this many times personally. And I want to go deeper. I don't want to be thrown off course when I don't get what I want. And I think, the depths of positivity is the faith, the belief that I'll be okay, that all is well, even if I don't get what I want. So that's the place where I think radical acceptance comes from. Like, I'm still good. I could survive without the soulmate, without the promotion, without making my first 6 or 7 figures. There's still so much to be grateful for. There's still so much joy. I'm good no matter what. Blessings to you from Vancouver to Toronto.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Danielle. I urge everyone to pick up a copy of her book, White Hot Truth, Clarity for Keeping It Real on Your Spiritual Path from One Seeker to Another, and check out her awesome book club too. You can learn more about Danielle at www.daniellelaporte.com. Now, let's do some emotional freedom technique tapping, or EFT tapping. And if you're not familiar with EFT, it's a clinically proven mind-body acupressure technique that's used for emotional release. In EFT, you tap near the end points of energy meridians in order to balance out and release blocked energy in the system. We gently tap with our fingers on the following points. One's the side of the hand between the end of the pinky finger and the wrist bone, the inside of the eyebrow. It's that point where the eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose, the outside of the eyebrow, and there you'll feel a little bone at that point. It can be a little tender, so don't tap too hard. Under the eye, which is right underneath the eye, under the nose, on the chin, the collarbone area, and for that area you can just take your hand flat and place it there where a man would wear the knot of his tie. There's a spot under your arm, and that's just where the lady's bra strap would sit, and the last point is the very top of the head. If you need a visual, I have a great diagram showing the tapping points on my website, www.creatingwealthandprosperity.com. You can find that diagram under the tab that says EFT. So let's begin, and repeat after me, and I'll call out the tapping points as we go along. Okay, so take a nice deep breath in, and exhale, and take another deep breath in, and exhale it out. Side of the hand. Even though I feel this pressure to be better, to do better, to constantly strive to improve, I deeply and completely accept myself. Side of the hand. Even though I compare myself to others and I feel like I need approval from the people around me, I completely accept all parts of me, both the light and the shadow side. Side of the hand. Even though I feel stuck, like I'm running out of time to make my impact in the world, I accept all my feelings and acknowledge where I am right now. Eyebrow. Just thinking about what I need to do makes me feel so overwhelmed. Side of the eye. There's just so much to do, so much to worry about. I have so much on my plate. Under the eye. All of this tension in my body. I don't feel like it's safe to relax. Under the nose. Constant struggle to feel centered. To feel like I'm getting ahead, this constant need for approval. Chin. I need to do better. I need to be better. Am I better yet? I feel like I'm running out of time. Like if I don't stress, it means I don't care. Collarbone. Are any of these beliefs really true? Maybe all these beliefs just keep me stuck, keep me striving. Keep me small and constricted. Under the arm. I choose to acknowledge them right now, all those false beliefs, and to slowly focus on my breath. Top of the head. All these beliefs that have been limiting me, all these beliefs keeping me away from my truth, keeping me stuck, keeping me unhappy, keeping me small. Eyebrow. Each time I tap, I release the hold these beliefs have over me. I acknowledge all these worries that keep me away from who I am. Outside of the eye. All these worries, all this baggage I carry with me, I have a choice to let it go. It's safe for me to let it go. Under the eye. I choose to feel peace within. I choose to take back my authentic power. Under the nose. I choose to stay connected to the truth of who I am. Chin. I choose to feel peace. Collarbone. I choose to feel joy. Under the arm. I choose to feel love. Good. Now take a nice deep cleansing breath in and exhale. I'm so glad you joined me today, folks. And if you want to know how to take this work deeper, how you can step up, stand out, and reach your big goals while feeling calm and confident, contact me at Stephenie, that's STEPHENIE, at creatingwealthandprosperity.com. Be sure to stop by my website to claim your free Creating Wealth and Prosperity Blueprint. It'll reveal what's keeping you stuck, small, and feeling frustrated in your money and your life. You can grab that at www.creatingwealthandprosperity.com.
Are you sick of giving too much and not earning enough? Have you wasted years playing small? Believe me, I understand because I've been there. Hi, this is Stephenie Farrell from creatingwealthandprosperity.com. I show success-minded entrepreneurs, coaches, and experts how to create wealth by freeing themselves from the hidden programming that's holding them back. If you feel like you're running out of time to make your impact in the world, download your free Creating Wealth and Prosperity Blueprint. This special audio and workbook will reveal what's holding you back from stepping up, standing out, and making your big goals real.